I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing while we mention those who have passed away since the last meeting. Patricia Cooper, Paula Medley, Daniel McAlpin, Daniel Kelly, roll call. Mike?
Here.
Paul?
Here.
Bill?
Here.
Kathy?
Here.
We have a full board. Fire exits are directly behind me. If there's an emergency, this is the way we go down the fire escape. Not the elevator, not the stairs. Correspondence, we have no correspondence, right, Jackie?
No.
Okay, petitioners. Petitioners in the audience have anything to bring to the town's attention? If you do, just stand up.
I can't hear you.
Okay. If you have anything to say to the town board, are you here to
I
speak to
have
the?
a lot to say, and it's probably all good, but I don't speak. I might be way too nervous.
Oh, okay. Anybody on Zoom?
Nope.
I think.
No?
Does the gentleman have something?
Okay. 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 All right, so we'll wait a second while Mr. Warner signs in, okay?
Warner, did you want to address the board as a
I don't have
petitioner?
anything right now because I haven't heard what exactly is gonna be discussed, everything that will be discussed tonight. I'm assuming the senior discount would be first.
Right,
Is
it
that
is.
the only thing
It's
that's
our
on the
public
agenda?
hearing. It's our public hearing.
So that's on the agenda, and the way that the town board works is, in the beginning of the meeting, we have petitioners, which would ask any question that you want. But while we're doing the town's business, and that particular motion is gonna be approved, if you have a question about it, read the agenda right now, and then come up and talk. Because otherwise, we're not gonna stop during the meeting.
But if they want to talk during the public hearing,
Well,
they
if
can.
you talk, you could do during the public
Yeah,
hearing.
because it
Right.
is now 7:05, so we could
Okay,
open up
so-
that public hearing.
Okay, so we need to do that. Yep.
Motion to open
Okay,
up.
so Mr. Warner? Yes, in this particular case, you can talk during the public hearing,
If you want to.
okay?
But I
If you
can
want
talk
to.
about the aged exemption.
All right, so the first public hearing at 7:05 is to receive, you want to move your chair up? or-
Come on up. Yeah, come on up this way.
so you can hear.
You have to beat the crowd, though.
Huh?
Okay, we're arranging our seats here.
Well, I have a hearing aid and I can't hear.
Okay.
That's fine, that's fine, you can sit right at this table. Okay? So the first business of the night is a
Thank
public.
you.
Okay, first business of the night is a public hearing to receive input and comments from the public regarding local law number 2022. A local law modifying the aged person's real property tax exemption to an income cap of $30,999.99. So it's actually been increased. The dollar amount of wages has gone approximately from 25,000 to 31,000.
Yep.
At this point, do you have a comment?
Yeah, well, this is similar to what we went through with the school taxes.
A few years ago, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I understood it's the same idea.
When is the last time that this was addressed, or how often is it looked at?
I was talking to Renee, our assessors, and I don't know the last time they did it, but we are out of step with the other, the county level, at the school level, and even with the village, so we chose to move forward and raise the amount of, money that you could possibly earn in a given year to this amount, so that more people could get an exemption. So I don't know, I don't have the answer for the last time we did it, but it's been a while.
Because each time the Social Security increases, obviously, you're thinking that these people have more money, but their cost of living increases.
Correct.
As
Right.
opposed to, and all of a sudden they have to pay more in taxes because they've
Actually,
gone over a limit, one of the
right,
limits.
exactly. So, and that's why during this high inflation time, we decided that we wanted our senior citizens that were making more money to still get an exemption.
Mhm.
If we left it sitting at the amount it is at currently, then because they did get a bump in their social security or whatever, they would be out of luck. They wouldn't be able to get this exemption.
That I understand.
So we increased it so that anybody who got a nice bump, they don't have to worry about losing their exemption. And we felt quite strongly that this was a good place to start, and we will review it over the next year, and we'll see where we're at. And because we'd like to help our seniors when we can.
That's a good explanation. Is there any other people on Zoom?
Nope.
No, sir.
Do you have any other questions concerning this particular matter?
The county limits, I don't know if my paperwork, I have a date on mine of 2019, which is probably the last time I got one of these. It started at 29,000 and ended at 37,400.
Mm-hmm.
But the town is not
Well,
following that guideline.
we have to do this in increments because we'd hate to get to the point where we went too high too fast and then have we don't want to take it, we don't want to give it and take it away. So we're doing this in an incremental approach so that we never have to take it back. So we're starting here, we'll review it after a year, and then if more adjustments need to be made this time next year, we'll all gather again and we'll discuss it again.
Okay.
But we didn't think it was prudent to jump all the way up to what the county was doing it. We needed to do it in a more incremental approach.
Thanks.
No
It's-
problem.
It's somewhat different and distinct.
Yeah.
All right. With no further questions, anyone have a motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing then.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Resolution, the town board by resolution authorizes the adoption of local law number 7, 2022 to repeal and replace section 99-1A of the chapter 99 of the code of the town of Wawarsing.
I'll move it.
Second.
Bessie makes a motion, Bill seconds it, Mike, it's a roll call vote.
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That resolution is carried. There are no budget modifications. Town board to approve bills as audited.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried.
No assessors report.
Correct.
Right.
So we'll go to number 4. Town board to approve the building department for August 22. Justice report for August 20, 2022. The highway August report. The town clerk's August report. The maintenance report. The dog controls officers report. The supervisor's report.
I'll move 4 through 10. Second.
Bill makes a motion 4 through 10. Mike seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Those motions are carried. Number 11, town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise to set the following dates in October to set the budget workshop meetings to discuss the 2023 budget, October.
3rd, 5th, 12th, and 26th.
That's the
And
third.
19th.
The 19th.
Oh, the 19th, sorry.
So
Okay,
it's 3rd, 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mike makes a motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion's carried. 12, town board to approve the payment of 140 hours of remaining vacation hours credited to Barbara Pays for the calendar year of 2022 as of January 1st, 2022. Her hourly rate of pay was $19.71, totaling an amount of $2,759.40.
So moved.
Bill and
Mike.
Mike were tied. No, we'll give it to Bill this time and Mike the next time. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve invoice 22024280 for Channel Communications in the amount of $65,188 for the installation of Wi-Fi at Lippin Park and the transfer station. Invoice will be paid with ARPA funding.
I'll make the motion.
Just one question.
Yep.
Is that a final payment?
No, that's
or-
the second one of the three.
All right.
All right,
Second,
Who made the first?
Paul.
Paul makes the motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion's carried. Town board to approve invoices from Mom Rocks Pizza, Inc. in the amount of $6,859 for the Ellenville Wawarsing Summer
So
Program.
moved. Second.
Bill makes the motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion is carried. Town board to approve the New York Rural Water Association, Inc. membership due for 2022 in the amount of $406.
Move it.
Cassie makes a motion,
Second.
Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with the Employee Services LLC in the amount of $2,550 for the Employee Assistance Program from 10/1/22 to 9/30/23.
So moved. Second.
Mike makes a motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve payment app number 12 in the amount of $34,179.21 to TAM Enterprises, Inc. for the Wawarsing Water District Water Treatment Facility and Well Field.
Move it.
Second.
Cassie makes a motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. 18, town board to approve payment number, application number 5 in the amount of $28,405 to T. McElliott, Inc. for the Wawarsing Water District Water Treatment Facility and Well Field, mechanical construction.
I'll move it.
Second.
That's,
Just paid by the city.
that is Cassie making a motion, Paul seconds it. Can we have a discussion for a second on that?
Oh, just to remind people that the numbers are big and we are spending a lot of money, but it's DEP money. It's to stand up the Wawarsing Water District, so it's not
Direct.
town of Wawarsing taxpayer money
Correct.
Indirectly.
indirectly.
Okay,
Okay,
that motion's carried.
carried. Yep.
19, town board to rescind the motion to approve Bill Parkin, water wastewater maintenance worker, to attend the following classes: grade B water treatment plant operator and grade C water distribution operator, given by W2O from September 19th to the 23rd. The cost for both courses are $600. The town vehicle will be used for transportation.
I'll move it.
So moved.
Cassie makes the motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. 20, town board to approve Dave Seymour, water wastewater maintenance, to attend the following classes: grade B water treatment plant operator and grade C water distribution operator, given by W2O September 19th to the 23rd. The cost is $600 for both courses of $600. The cost of the lodging not to exceed $500. A town vehicle will be used for transportation. For section 3.5, the town of Wawarsing Employment Practices Compliance Manual, on a case-by-case basis, the town board may require repayment of the costs associated with the education and/or training should the employee voluntarily terminate employee with the town during the 36 months immediately following the completion of the education and/or training.
I'll move it.
Second.
Cassie makes the motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to rescind the motion to approve the purchase of 6 pieces of ADA playground equipment for Lippin Park from Willie Goat Playground, Inc., items not to exceed $9,000.
Move it.
Second.
Cassie makes a motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve the purchase of 6 pieces of ADA playground from Willie Goat, items not to exceed $9,200 from line item 7710.2.
Four.
Four.
Correct. I made the correction and then I said 2, okay.
And the reason for that is the shipping was, put us over.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town board to accept and approve the proposal for the use of tub grinder, the grinding of brush and wood debris, and the removal of brush and debris at the Wawarsing Transfer Station, Roth Lumber Corp., Saugerties, New York, in the amount of $15,200.
So moved.
Second.
Bill makes a motion, and Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion's carried. Just for a note, that dollar amount is basically 2 years worth, it hadn't been done last year,
Correct.
and,
There's a lot of brush to be ground.
Pretty high.
yes. and
Which is
as you
dangerous.
drive up there, you can see how
There's a mountain up there right
Sean and
now.
those guys have put it in a nice, safe part of the side of the parking lot, and it's gonna be taken away. Town board to accept and approve the proposal, oh, that's it, 24.
Yep.
Town board to accept and approve the proposal from All Phase Electric in the amount of $2,685 for the installation of a 200 amp meter combo service at Lippman Park.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes the motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Can you explain that, Paul?
Yep, happy to. There's as part of the security system, an upgrade that's going into Lippman Park. Basically, the park now will be very well secure with respect to security cameras, and that electrical fee is to basically provide the electricity for the last 4 security cameras that basically keep an eye on the parking lot and a few other sections around there, because the pole that those are mounted on did not have electric service, and that's the electric service basically had to be brought to that pole, and that's the cost of doing that.
Alrighty, thank you. That was voted on, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. 25, town board to approve, adopt a highway application for Nappaneck Public Interest Group to adopt the following roads: Continental Road and Nappaneck. Agreement will be for 2 years, beginning on September 15th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Bill makes a motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried, and we'd like to thank the people that are creating this adopted highway, and it's a good thing for the community. We have one up in Spook Hole and Ulster Heights. Franksmore, I believe, has one, and we could use, if you're in the if you're in an outlying area of the town, and you're interested in doing that, just come to Town Hall, talk to Jackie Kyer, the town clerk, and we can work from there, okay? But we appreciate everything that everybody does to keep the sides of the roads clean. Okay? 26. Town board to hire Tyler Hyatt as a laborer for the highway department. The starting hourly salary is based upon the IBW contract for a 40-hour work week. The starting date will be effective September 22nd. This is subject to a pre-employment physical and drug testing.
So moved.
Second.
Bill makes a motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
27, we're
Some
gonna
more
table.
tabling.
So the 26 is approved.
Yep. 27, we're gonna
27 we're
table.
tabling at this particular point and
Yes.
bringing it up again on the 26th of September.
Paul has a 28.
Okay. What'd you say?
I said Paul has 28.
Oh, okay. So Paul has something.
Shall I do that now? Okay,
Sure.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion for the town board to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement between the town of Wawarsing and Linstar in the amount of $2,240.31 from line item 7110.4 of our budget for the additional video surveillance camera at Lippman Park. Just a little explanation on that. This is to add 1 extra camera to the recently installed surveillance at Lippman Park, so that we now have surveillance that basically keeps an eye on access to the transfer station. This will be basically facing the gate on the road that leads up to the transfer station to give us now complete coverage of that area.
Okay.
Didn't we use ARPA funding for all the rest?
No, the rest of it was done through a
DASNY grant.
DASNY grant. And so this is just to add 1 extra camera to the system that's already there.
Yeah, that was a different project.
Yeah, and it was on the recommendation of the employees at the transfer station, and some issues that we've had with the gate, and some issues we had with people going around the gate when the transfer station is closed, and also with people leaving garbage basically at the gate when the transfer station is closed.
Yep, and that pretty much covers it.
Yep, so that's the motion.
All right.
Did we vote on it?
Second.
Second.
Paul made the motion, Cassie seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. So at this time, with no further business, we have concerns. Mr. Petty,
My concerns, okay. We're gonna do one more paving job, which is, Lower Frog Hollow. And then we're gonna start doing some TNL work on the South Hill. Next year, we hope to plan doing South Hill, Oak Creek Road. That's our plans. The other thing is Old Greenfield Road, from Barber Lane Bridge up. We're gonna try to have somebody come in and build that out. I don't wanna put blacktop in there, cause it's, the bank's erosion. So, we'll just make it a dirt road for now. So, that's what I got plans now. Just when we get done with, our paving, we're gonna start with trees, cause, everybody's calling about trees. Everybody. They're all finding the trees belong to the town. I got a ton of trees.
That's why we bought those bucket trucks.
That's all. Before we couldn't touch them. Now the trees, they belong to the town.
Even though I live in the village, you could have my trees if you want.
That's what we're working. We're working in the village now. So,
actually, yes, we did, I'd like to,
I'm gonna bring that up too.
yeah, a few days ago, Tony gave me a call at 7 in the morning and said, come on up to the Schwango Country Club or the Steckler Park, which is the golf course in Ellenville, and, there was a tree at the very, very base edge of the cemetery that we maintain, for the town and, in the village. And it was hanging over the ninth hole. And it was in desperate need, or desperate, it was ready to land on the green, so. Those greens at the Schwanka Country Club are in great shape, and they always have been, and, Tony's guys went up there and
Saved them.
saved the trees. And it's-
Save the green.
Oh, the greens.
The green.
Didn't save the tree.
Save, well, yes, they saved the tree. But it was interesting to watch them, work on the trees with the, roping up the branches and then tying it around the tree and then making sure it doesn't drop to the ground, and, it's not just like cutting a tree. So it's a big, it's an important job, and, I'd like to thank Tony and especially the guys that are working there at, they just don't go up and cut a tree. It's a big project in the village. It's something that we do for the village as a shared service, and, or at least we'll call it, we do it for the village.
tomorrow will be number 4 days. 4 days we're gonna work up there.
So, yeah, that's 4 days doing that, is protecting, a valuable asset that the village has, and, it's important.
Now it's Mike's turn.
Mike's turn.
While we're on trees there's an issue on, George Young Boulevard
Yes.
of the trees now are starting to be overgrown. We own the poles, electric line through the length of that road, and we had an incident last week there where we lost power in Lippman Park due to, they believe, wires hitting or limbs hitting the wires. And Central Hudson was nice enough to come up to reset the fuses, but they made it clear that we own those poles and lines and that they're not supposed to work on anything that they don't own. And they offered to trim the trees a little bit once, but said that they will not do it again. I think we need to look at taking those trees down. They offered to shut the power off while we're cutting the trees, but I think it's something that we should seriously look at and
Yes.
take down so that we don't have these issues. And in the future, they said that we would have to get a private contractor in there to reset the electric or to repair any damage that's done.
But, yeah, the other day in one of our budget workshops, we discussed that, and we are definitely made the decision, right, Tony? that
Well,
The
make
ones,
sure.
the ones on the right-hand side going up,
Well, if you're gonna take the right-hand side, you're gonna take it right from 209. That's where the problem is, from 209 all the way up. That's where the power lines are.
Paul, you have a question?
That's the power lines that run up the road that goes up to the top of the transfer
They
station.
the town owns it. They're all telephone poles.
That's right, the town owns all those poles, and those are the ones that Central Hudson said are going through the way the guy described it to me as a self-trimming process. So the electric wires basically were shorting against the trees, which were kind of being zapped and self-trimming. And then after we had that extensive amount of rain, that was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, and why they claim those two fuses popped.
No, the question, Tony's basically saying, in addition to the right side going up, which is pretty dense in trees, where you think that we should start from 209?
You gotta start from 209. You're gonna have to.
Those are big.
You take the top out of these trees, they're gonna look like hideous. You gotta cut 40 foot off the tree, 50 foot off the tree, and there they're gonna be.
Well, right now, it basically looks like a wall, and then the trees are growing naturally on the other side, because the power lines run right through those trees right now.
You get down by 209, it's not that way.
So you're talking as it goes around the bend?
Just as it comes
Yeah.
off 209.
Yep.
all the
Well,
way up.
I believe we own all those poles. I know we own the ones from George Young up to the transfer
We own
station.
them all.
Okay, so then he said we're responsible for the tree trimming all the way up. They said that they would come, and schedule with us a time when we want to basically cut the power to the line so that your guys can do the trimming safely.
Tony's talking about taking them down.
Taking them down.
Well, if we choose to do that, we could, I guess.
Well, this is a board's decision.
Yeah.
These things are too big, they're overgrown.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of complaints from the neighbors.
Yep.
The pine cones, everything's falling in the yards.
Well, we have three-phase line going up to the transfer station because that services bringing the power down off the solar array.
Yeah.
And the other concern that the gentleman had from Central Hudson was the potential that at times the solar array may be generating a little bit more power than maybe those lines were designed for. He didn't elaborate any further than that with me when I was there. But his biggest concern was the self-trimming, as he described it, that goes along that area where those pine trees are. And I said to him, that we don't do work around live wires. And they basically said, that's not a problem. We'll come and shut the power off for you. When you're done, we'll turn the power back on for you.
If you shut the power off from 209, what about the solar farm? What happens?
The
to that
solar
power?
farm will be disabled during the time that you're doing that.
And they shut that off?
Yeah, it basically automatically shuts off. The solar farm becomes deactivated when the power lines are turned off. As long as all three phases are shut off at the same
Do you have
time.
an estimate of the time frame that it would take?
We would have to
You know,
schedule it probably on Mondays.
Monday would be the best time to do it because,
And it may take several Mondays
Yep.
to do it.
yeah.
But that's really the only time you can do it.
It is important that all three phases are off because we had strange meter readings in the park and I didn't understand it. And as I spoke to the gentleman, he said that's because you're basically getting, because one of the fuses was not popped. So there was basically a back current that was coming off of that other fuse coming back into the system. He says once all three are cut off, then you won't have any power basically along that whole road. And those three fuses, Tony, are right as you go around the bend by the stop sign that comes into the parking lot. Those are the fuses that would shut off that strip going up the road to the transfer station.
I just wanna make sure when it comes off 209, it's cut.
They would have to probably turn that off separately because I know the fuses are there at that intersection of where the parking lot is. That's why we lost power at Lippman Park and why we also had lost power up at the transfer station.
It's gonna be a little tricky.
Yep.
Otherwise, we have to hire somebody out and do it.
For further detail, I think, the gentleman who's responsible for us, Mike Cedar, had him actually come and, they immediately took care of the problem for us, which was nice. I mean, as soon as he identified what had happened, he had us open up the gate to the transfer station because it was a Monday. And they went up and they evaluated what caused the situation, and they basically had the power back on within like a half an hour once they arrived.
We're talking a lot of trees, I mean.
Oh, I know.
Your board members should go up there and take a look and say,
It's a lot of trees.
what do you think? Then we gotta find a place to put this material.
Well, maybe we take them down before we have the trees ground up that are up at the transfer
They only
station.
grind shrubbery.
Nice try, Paul, but.
Well, actually,
Well, they could do
no,
the
the
limbs.
limbs on those pine trees would qualify
Yeah.
for that shrubbery.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
All right, well,
All right.
Yep.
So we've,
killed that.
yeah, we've killed the trees this way. And Mike Machetta is up.
Okay. I'd like to start out tonight with a couple of motions. We did some interviews this evening, and a couple positions open. One, start with, is the Board of Assessment Review Board. We're looking for a position, someone to fill that position. I'd like to make a motion to hire Corey Kapitanakis.
That's an appointment, Mike.
I got it right. Look at
it's an
that.
appointment.
Oh, it's an appointment to be appointed starting 9/16/22. Second,
Mike makes a motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried.
second is position that has been left vacant by the retirement of Barbara Pays. I'd like to make a motion to hire Kim Moore for the clerk position for the building department for a starting date of 10/6/22.
Second.
Mike makes a motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I am not gonna talk about trees, I think we're done with tree talking. I was gonna thank Tony for cutting the trees, but Terry kinda took the wind out of my sails, that's okay. I would though also like to thank, Terry Houck himself. There was a situation where, he was presented with a lot of extra garbage down at the ball field and, Little League Field, and took his own personal vehicle, went down, picked it up, took it to the transfer station. I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the board and the village for doing that, Terry. It was nice of you to do that.
$6 a bag.
$3 a bag.
$3
That
a
was
bag.
construction debris.
Oh, it's construction debris? Okay.
Yeah, which shouldn't have been there to begin with, but thank you, Terry, for taking your time out of your day to do that. I'd also like to congratulate the Scoresby Hose Hook and Ladder Company in Ellenville for their 150th year. That's their anniversary this year. They have a nice big event coming up. I just like to say congratulations to them. Tony, every month pretty much tell you, great job you guys are doing. I'm on these back roads and all these roads all throughout our town here, and roads look great, and you guys are out there blacktopping. Thank you for all you guys do, including cutting trees, if nobody told you that.
Save the ninth green.
Yeah, save the ninth green, Tony. Our building department, I've been saying for months, we're very, very busy. We had a stellar month in in August. The building department issued 76 new permits, 161 inspections, and they gave out 18 COs. So that's a phenomenal amount coming out of that little office, and we're short-staffed. And I just want to give them kudos for getting all this work done with the short amount of staff that we have. They need to be recognized. And lastly, Renee has submitted the numbers for her assessment department for our budgeting process, which will plug in numbers at our next meeting. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Mike. Paul?
I really don't have anything other than what we've already covered. We covered the trees and we covered the cameras. And so I don't have anything additional to add to that.
You must have something to say about
Nah,
the
he's
the
good.
house
That's-
and the water.
no.
Sewer. No?
No, I'll let Cassie talk about the water and sewer.
All right, well, Bill Brown's gotta go first.
Okay.
We did interviews at the highway department there, and we hired one candidate, and possibly on the 26th we'll be hiring the second candidate for Tony. Thank Tony for taking care of the trees in the cemeteries and all of his help at the Pentonville Cemetery. We appreciate that. We've ordered playground equipment for ADA accessible for Lippman Park. Should be coming in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And we'll be installing that when we get it.
Bill, do you have an idea where that's gonna be placed?
Yeah, we'll go down there and I'll show you and see what you think. And if that's not a good place, I'll accept your recommendation. We'll soon be interviewing for the recreation director. We have a couple individuals who have expressed interest. I'd like to get that filled so that we can get some programs together for the off-season there for our
Winter season, holiday
children in the area. The pools are closed, winterized. I still would like to sit down with the village and try to iron out our differences and have some serious conversations on the Berm Road Park and see if we can come to an agreement. And I haven't gotten a new date for the county to come to the
No,
area.
The county, was supposed to come down and they called like 2 days before and canceled it, and they said they'd come up with another date. You're referring to,
The 5 offices from the county, Office of the Aging, the DSS, Veterans.
yeah, even one of the veterans that was going to be coming came and showed up that day and he wasn't even invited, said it was canceled, so. We reached out to the county and they're in the process of giving us another date.
That's it for me.
Cassie's 4.
Okay, flag football is open for registration. You can go to the same site where you registered for camp today, and it's at Camp Brain, and you can register for flag football. It's for 7 to 14-year-olds, boys or girls, doesn't matter. And if you go to the Camp Brain site, you'll get all the information on that. I've got Ian DeMarco's in charge of it. If you know him and you want to reach out to him directly, you can do that. And then I'm with next month. We're probably going to do the fall festival decoration contest, and I'll have more information for that you guys on that first meeting in October. And then the Wawarsing Water District is moving right along. We paid some bills for them today, but we have 15 houses that are fully connected. But I would like to let the people know that you will not be billed this quarter. The first quarter that you will receive a bill for your water will be in the new year. It'll be in January. So when they give you your metered water, don't stress. You're not going to get a bill till January. If you're in the vicinity of the highway barn, and then towards Institution Road, that section, we are aware that we're connecting you, and your pressure in your home, the pressure at the PSI at the tap is going to be a little low until we get the tank on board. Once the tank goes on board, all the pressures will come back up. So please be patient with us. If it's a real issue, talk to the contractor that's connecting you, and maybe we can work out a solution so that you're happy until we get the tank on board. Because we're waiting on a computer component to run the filtration plant, and right now we're back ordered on it, and it's not due till the end of December. Cannot put water in the tank until we can run it through the filtration plant. So we're working on that, and when I have new dates on that, I'll let you know. I don't know who thinks it's a good idea to vandalize the main pump station in Kerhonkson, but I wish they wouldn't do that. If that pump station goes down, we're going to have a serious problem in Kerhonkson. A lot of people are depending on that, so just leave it alone. There's no reason to be near it or monkey with it. So really use your heads out there. Our water is coming back up. All the pumps all the wells are getting a better output. We're gonna continue with the conserved water for now, but I'm really pleased that with the rain, that the amount in the wells are coming up. And I'll put out a blast when we are ready to do that. But I'm thinking with the way things are going, maybe before the end of the month, we'll be able to lift that completely and we won't need to conserve anymore, but I'll let you know. And that's what I have for tonight.
Okay, so is anybody talking about trees yet?
What are those?
Jackie's waiting for me to talk about
Where are
trees.
they?
Christmas trees.
Okay, so, as Tony mentioned earlier, we have 2 bucket trucks with 8 employees that are working wonderfully at the town of Wawarsing. Recently, we're on our 4th day at the Speckler Park, clearing and protecting the golf course, and we're protecting the roads all the time with these 2 bucket trucks, and 8 dedicated employees. If you go on a Facebook page, proud to be a Napanaker, there is a post showing the Napanack Rural Cemetery sign, and which actually was established in 1853.
Three.
So take a drive by it there up by Hill Street above the Elks Club there, and take a look. The post and signage was done by Mike Cedar, our maintenance guy, did a great job with that. And Bill Brown, Ray down here assisted with that, and the 2 of us did work with that with the Department of Corrections, with these, the Department of Corrections works and does signs for the highways, and they're very good, obviously, to work with. And they're very reasonably priced. And then the other one actually that's there, which we made about eight signs of, says, for respect of all plot owners and to maintain the dignity of the cemetery, no motorized vehicles allowed, only persons with cemetery business allowed on the cemetery property. Violators are subject to arrest. Penal Law 14523. So like Jackie had mentioned with the pump station in Kerhonkson.
So did Cassie.
What did I say?
You said Jackie.
Jackie?
Jackie said trees.
I was looking at Jackie.
Jackie was talking about trees.
It's the first time Jackie hasn't said anything.
Oh.
No,
You're gonna get it.
I'm looking at that as a positive. That could even be misinterpreted. Anyway, we do have about 8 of those, and again, Tony and the highway guys take care of 13 cemeteries. Actually, 23 different sites, right?
23 different sites.
23 different sites. So when you think about this, they're not just working on the highway. They're working on 23 different sites, and that should be noted and appreciated. So, our budget, we met this week with our tentative budget, which is the first phase of 3 phases. The second has to be in by the end of September, this tentative budget, and then we'll go to the preliminary budget, and then in November, we'll pass the final budget to be in by November 18th, I think it is. So Jackie, every year we get a calendar that, from the state that you have these deadlines that you have to follow, and, we had a good meeting this week, 2 new board members, but we also collectively as 5 people look at the process. I think we do a pretty good job. If you wanna look at your taxes for the last 4 or 5 years, the increases were, don't quote me here, but I think the last 4 years or so was less than 2% for the whole 4. I would say like 1.57 or something.
Yep, last year was
Somewhere
0.
1.57 like for the entire 4 years.
Yep.
So we do, we work hard on making the taxes lower, and there's a lot of things that go into it. You have to make these improvements with what we're doing, but you also have to fix things that are broken. You gotta recycle or, have a rotation in vehicles and make them safe.
And sometimes you have to say no.
And sometimes you gotta say no.
Yep.
And we also have I have a call into Delaware Engineering about the highway garage, about when that's gonna get started, which hopefully will be in the very near future before the weather gets bad, and should be done by next year. We had a public hearing, as people that may have gone on the meeting last 2 weeks ago, or can still go on the meeting and see that Somerset Partners from Neville. We opened up a public hearing for comments on the seeker process. and we closed it, and we had the end of comments for Monday at 4 o'clock, and we have 3 comments concerning the project, and they'll be forwarded to the right place, and some of the partners can go to, we'll go to the next step, which is an exciting situation. Cresco Labs, as people may or may not know, they bought the Cora property, which used to be the Hydro property. They bought that months ago, but now they're in the process of signing and closing on the Schrade property. So Chris is in the audience here from the Journal, but I can get you an exact date. I'm thinking it's the 21st of September, but I'll double check that. Okay? And with that, all that stuff, okay. Again, Mike was talking about interviews today with the building department. It's important that, since Barbara Pay's left, that we need to put somebody in there that's, gonna be able to do the job and with no interruptions, which is pretty good, because Barbara just retired a couple weeks ago, and we appreciated her service, and now we're not missing a beat here, putting somebody in there, but we also do need to improve our, increase our staff with the code enforcement aspect of it. That's obviously, building department is a very important aspect of the community, to plan your community. The codes that you have and the zoning that you have allow for different uses, and we have to, to make a economic viable community, you have to basically have rules. So we're trying to get to that point, and it's only good, it's good for everybody. I don't think there's anything else. Anybody else have any comments?
Nope.
I have one comment.
Okay, yes.
Both Mary and I passed on 209 today, and we're both pretty sure that the street sign on the corner of 209 and Canal is missing a C.
It's missing a C?
Yeah,
Just
looks
think
like it
about-
says anal street.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's the village.
So what we'll do is, we'll call the village and,
We'll double check. We were passing by and both of us thought, this is weird.
That's funny.
that is
There
extremely,
may be a reason for that.
Was there a tree in the way of the sea?
Didn't see it. There were some shadows though.
so this is on Canal and
It
209,
just seemed
Right in
so
the corner.
clear.
right here.
Yeah, right on the corner. We're
Okay,
Yeah, I go home that way, I'll take notice.
okay.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I
Yes.
think that was, pretty interesting.
Second,
way to
Michael.
close the meeting.
Michael made a motion.
Mike made the motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, and good night.